Hi, my name is Heather Feather. I'm the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today I wanted to talk about filling your emptiness with dreams. Fun. Let's put some dreams in there instead of nightmares. Ding, there's an idea. Everything you've ever seen, everything your eyes have ever fallen upon in your entire life, everything you haven't seen, everything you've never witnessed, the parts of the world you haven't seen, the parts of the cosmology that you are unfamiliar with because your eyes have not seen them in textbooks or from being an astronaut in space, exploring that area of space. All of it is comprised of 99.999% emptiness. All of it. Everything you look at every day, everything you see when you glance into a mirror, everything that you're looking at is emptiness. You know, it's easy to say this is scientific fact, but all science is theory. So this is scientific theory that continues to prove itself, which is what a lot of scientific theory does. It continues to elucidate that, yeah, that's still true. We checked again, it's still true. And being aware that you're made of emptiness, to really revel in that knowing and to slow down and illuminate your awareness with like, this is emptiness I'm watching, and it is emptiness I watch it with. What? What? I'm a strong believer in the holography of the universe, and found an article today that's strengthening this concept that it is a holographic universe. From my perspective, it's a holographic universe that reflects consciousness. Nothing safer or less threatening than a hologram. You know, all the things, the trials and tribulations that humanity's ever experienced, if we conceive of them to be a hologram of experience, then not much holographic threat. So to me, it's a very it's a philosophy that I follow. I call it neutral hologram theorist, that it's all a hologram and it's therefore fundamentally neutral because it on some level doesn't exist. I've been thinking all day today about this neutral hologram theory and about the emptiness of the universe. And it's like, well, what is the hologram reflecting? It's reflecting the dreams of our consciousness. It's reflecting what we're kind of dreaming up, what our consciousness turns its awareness towards. You have an awareness, you have an attention span, and that awareness and that attention span is constantly being shared with yourself, your thoughts and ideas, other people's thoughts and ideas, other people's selves. You know, so your awareness, your most precious commodity here, your awareness, is something that, to me, is causing the emptiness to have this holographic representation that seems really there. But to me, it makes a lot of sense. A hologram is empty. It would make sense for the universe to be that level of emptiness, which scientifically we continue to see that it is, that level of emptiness. So holography makes a lot of sense for me. But with that concept, it's like, what is your consciousness filling the emptiness with? What are you causing the holography to be? What are you choosing with your awareness to see? How are you coding the holograms to pop up in front of you? So much of that programming. So we know that children from the age of 0 to 7, it's most commonly stated through many different articles that I've read in my lifetime, that the personality matrix of an individual is developed from the age of 0 to 7. There's a bit of further development that occurs from 8 to 14, but from 0 to 7, that's when the foundational personality matrix of a being and their psychological patterns really get formed and developed. And during that same period, a child from the age of 0 to 7 is predominantly in a theta brainwave state. So a theta brainwave state would be a more meditative state. It's where imagination really comes alive. So there can be a lot of opportunity to like stand in realms of imagination and possibility. And you often will see the wonder and awe in a child and their magnificent ability to ask really deep questions because they have this ability to step towards imagining. And we as adults hit a theta brainwave state kind of right before we drift off to sleep, and also like right after we wake up. Now, in that theta brainwave state, our subconscious mind garners programming in the ages of 0 to 7. And what happens from 8 onward is your subconscious mind programming is the predominant thing that is running your system. If you've ever driven somewhere and you get there and you're like, I don't really remember driving here. We call that automatic pilot. That pilot that's piloting that plane or car or whatever it is you were moving forward in space-time delusion to get to XYZ point in, it was being piloted by your subconscious mind. And recent studies that I was looking at were saying that like 95% of the time, we potentially even a little bit more, we are running on subconscious programming. So it's almost like it becomes the OS or the operating system of your computer that is you. And then there are little software programs you can plug in called the conscious mind, where on occasion we are actually being present to new information. In order to change the programming of the subconscious mind, the dream maker that is running the program or the system 95% of the time, we would need to move towards our theta brainwave states that occur as an adult right before bedtime or right upon awakening, or as a teenager, I highly recommend getting a recording of your own voice. You're going to be able to completely trust this recording and what it says because you'll be the one speaking it. And using a recording of your own voice to record a communication to your subconscious mind of how you would like to reprogram it. The challenge that many two-leggeds face is that from 0 to 7, when their operating system or when their subconscious mind was being developed and programmed to run the system, a lot of the programming that was received was false. So most people that I know are really honest and like to be honest. And those same people are people that can be self-deprecating, call themselves lazy, tell themselves that they're ugly or that they're, nobody wants to hear what they have to say or they don't matter. And those, every time that I've ever witnessed those qualities coming out of the mouth of the two-legged that I'm listening to, I've always just been witnessing lies because it's not true. Like, I've watched very hardworking people call themselves lazy, and very tremendously beautiful, lovely humans speak ill of their form, which is just delicious and wonderful, exactly in the package it's in. And so sometimes we have an operating system that is functioning within us that the programmers, the adults that were around when the subconscious mind was being developed to run your system, put false ideas in there, like not good enough, do it again. And so we have many two-leggeds walking around with an unworthiness story or I don't matter story, or I'd like to write a book or sing a song or create a painting, but what does it matter? Plenty of people do that. Nobody cares what I have to say. A lot of this self-deprecation that can be present in the matrix that was developed. The way we take responsibility to reprogram the dream maker, the holography maker, the way we do that is we get in a theta brainwave state, and from a theta space, theta consciousness, we offer new programming. We offer new information. So recording yourself and listening to a recording of yourself every night before you go to bed, or every morning right upon awakening, or both. Doing that every day for 30 days, where you say things to yourself like, I love you, you're beautiful, you are worthy, you are valuable, you are precious. What you say matters. It certainly matters in your world. It is valuable and wonderful for you to express. You have freedom of expression. You're allowed to be you. You don't need to be anyone else's idea of you, because your expression is beautiful and unique, and you get to decide that, and you have that freedom, and you are free now to be who you are. And we release all bonds that would say otherwise in the mind, and we open the mind and the time to express how wonderful and fine you are. We now express your wellness. We express it in your cells. We express it in your genes. We express it in your smile. We express it in all you be. So, whatever it is you would want to say, whatever it is you'd want to speak to in your in your operating system programming, whatever you'd want to reprogram there, that is a tremendous way to change the dream state that you experience every day. Our subconscious mind is present when we're asleep and when we're dreaming. And anyone who's followed dream interpretation would say that your subconscious mind is actually communicating with you and processing the last 24 to 48 hours of your time and giving you symbology and imagery to communicate with the conscious mind about the previous 24 to 48 hours. Some schools of thought would even say that the superconscious mind, or the higher self, uses the subconscious mind as a bridge to commune with the conscious mind and to help it to understand this is what you're doing and this is what your higher self says you want to be doing. So if subconscious mind not only runs our dreams, but runs 95% of our programming here at Earth School, if that's why so many of us so easily walk around on automatic pilot, as they say, if we have someone in the pilot seat that maybe wasn't properly trained, then perhaps we should take a moment to retrain the pilot. And there is a quality of empowerment that I've always wanted to hand myself and always wanted to hand others, that it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be so hard. It doesn't have to seem so difficult. And anyone who knows me knows it's not easy to say. I've had a very difficult life, and I've done everything in my power to understand it and to reason with it. Like, why would life be so, why is it so hard down here? The greatest conclusion I've ever come to is that I am a dream maker. I am a storyteller. I am a hologram maker. And this hologram of mine, this multiverse of mine, I have many different ways I conceive of it, as if this is my individual multiverse and you have your own. And multiverses are not static, they're dynamic, they're in a constant state of flux. Sometimes I consider each individual as a wormhole, and maybe we're not familiar that we're a wormhole, because how do you know you are something if you're looking for it outside of yourself? And so, yeah, so there's lots of different concepts that I investigate with various qualities of science and quantum mechanics and philosophies that I've studied. What I can say is your life is a set of dreams or a set of stories that you've been telling. It is, if I talk about my divorce, it is this specific story. And I tell it in the same way pretty much every time. If I talk about all the death, those death stories are consistent. It's like a dream that I pull from the annals of nowhere because it doesn't exist anymore. None of those things are happening in my now. And I speak it into the hologram. Oh, here's the dream. Here are the dreams that run my system. So some of those dreams, the way I've chosen to speak them, to teach them, to offer them, to hold them, some of the ways that I've received them even are based in some of that foundational theta brainwave programming. And that means that they are processed through a filter that perhaps doesn't get all the wonderful gifts that were present in each given experience. So in order for me to give myself a new dream to speak of, a new story to tell, a new way to offer my sharing, it's just a matter of working with theta brainwave reprogramming. And there's lots of different opportunities on that. I've been studying Bruce Lipton a lot lately, and he talks about a lot of different methodologies to do theta brainwave reprogramming. It's definitely something you can research. We are going to be offering 2 classes this week. On Monday, we're going to start doing Read the Tarot, a 6-week class, lots of fun. On Thursday, we're going to do an 8-week class called Be a Healer. We're going to look into some of the holography of the universe, and we're going to look into what is dis-ease, what is illness, why do we need healing, what is healing required for, and how do we do it, what are the means to heal. So we will address that in very simple and intimate and complex ways. And then in a couple of weeks, we'll have a class called Be a Witch, in which we'll look at what it means to awaken your inner wizard or magician. Go to rarebirdmedicine.com and click on the classes link. We would love to have you join us in any of these beautiful groups that have formed. And blessed be.